Shalom, shalom. See what kind
Yeah,
of sound we got. We good.
yeah.
Oh, that's look good. That look good. That look good. All right. Not, you keep it discreet in the spirit. Use wisdom. Call all Yahweh Bashim Yal Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect out there. It's just going to be a real, quick movie review. Just seen a movie, Gladiator 2, which I highly recommend. One of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Especially with the historical, accuracy, the way the jewelry, the costumes, and what they all like. The presentation of the movie was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Everything about it. And then one thing I noticed about the movie is that it was when I sat there. Typically, back in the day, you would see more so credits. After the credits, you would get like a sneak peek of something that would come next. And I sat there, I waited, and as I was waiting, and I looked, as I was looking, the cast, the directors, the producers, the editors, the sculptors, the carpenters, everything about that movie. A lot of the people that organized that movie was from Morocco. It was heavily Eastern, Northern African influence, and they kept it accurate as possible. But of course, there's going to be confusion of face, if you will. Those that have ears to hear, let them hear. All right. So they're going to show you that these particular individuals is not Jake. They got the one Jake, which is Denzel, but the other guys, the other characters in there, like for instance, when I looked up Commodus. So in the first one with Commodus, he actually is the I think he's the co emperor with Marcus Aurelius, right? But Marcus Aurelius in the first one dies, and then Commodus takes over. And then, you had the little boy that was amongst them, right? Which I got to go back and watch the first one again to recollect and see, put all the pieces back together. But ultimately, you look up Commodus, this is what I'm going to start off with. Commodus, right? There's a couple things I want to mention, all right? So, you have the four good emperors, all right? Nerva, Trajan, the five good emperors, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius, and that's 161 to 180 CE. That was the one who died in the beginning of the first Gladiator, right? And then in the first Gladiator, that's when Maximus was supposed to become the Caesar.
Yeah.
But the brother took it. I believe in the movie he played Marcus Aurelius played Commodus' brother, if I'm not mistaken, and then he's the one that took the seat. But when you look at Commodus, let me pull them up right quick. And they had different pictures of the different emperors in there, and they showing you it. But if you don't got the eyes to see, you're not going to see it. All right. Jake ain't even going in there with the mind frame that the everyday Jake, the everyday so-called Negro, Spanish, and Native American ain't going in with the eyes and thinking that they Jake. All right. This is Commodus, man. All right, that's Commodus. All right, look like your uncle or something, man. That look like your uncle, man. That look like that look. You seen this? He look like that remind me of
Bushido Brown.
not Bushido Brown. With Jerome. Like the image, the character Jerome that Martin played. That's what it remind me of. That's what it remind you of. But now take a look at what Commodus looks like in the movie Gladiator. Right? Let's go to the movie Gladiator. You saw that image, right? Commodus. Movie Gladiator, Commodus. The image should pop up. Images. Look at this. This is who Claudius is supposed to be. I mean, not Claudius. Commodus. That's Commodus. Now, why does Commodus look like this in Gladiator first one? If I just showed you Commodus, right? Now, with that being said, you see in the movie that you have different sects. Basically, the underground guys, those the slaves, because that's what I'm gonna spoil it too. So the father of the first one, Maximus, that was his son, right? And his son was doing an uprising, and the name of his father is supposed to be an emperor. But it went deeper because they said what? Because just of the royal blood. They considered them of the royal blood. And they remembered even the new general that followed his father, kept the same principles and morals. They remember strength and honor, strength and honor. They didn't care about the Roman Empire. Why? Because those were the slaves. They were which were mostly who the plebeians. And even he said in the movie, that movie was accurate. The Daenerys, how they brought that in, like they used it. He said that they were saying that basically no, I keep mixing up. Yeah, the plebeians, they're upset. The plebeians, they call them the plebeians. He said they're upset, and that's what it was all about. It was an uprising within Rome. But those people, what they're going to explain is really Jake. And it's the same thing now because we're living in modern day Rome. You know, although those emperors, because that's what happened to the downfall of early Rome, right? The early Roman Empire, the face of the Roman Empire died with those emperors, right? And then later on, you had Jake being the Romans, just like, and then even they show you amongst them, they showing you even the way Denzel was moving and conducting. He had the garments he wore. It was very Moorish. It was very Moorish, all right? Although the Islam wasn't around during that time, but Jake carried that same Middle Eastern, just like, remember we were talking about, they had the headbands on, the way they just told you they was in Rome, but you could see how they lived would be like, how they would depict in like a Jerusalem or something, the way the slaves lived. And then also too, the slaves, they lived underground, just like the catacombs. When you go into that, the catacombs, man. All right, when you the Jakes that were Christians, all right. See, they didn't say it in there, but that was ultimately the main crutch or the main wound to Rome was the belief of Yahweh Shai. But those men that believed in Yahweh Shai, those families that believed in Yahweh Shai, didn't live above ground during those periods. Why? Because they were sought out and being put to death. So for you to say that you're a Christian and walking around the earth and thinking that everything is peaches and cream, and then you don't understand what the early church went through. Them people lived under, that's where you get the catacombs. All right? Yeah. All right? I'm gonna read it real quick. Catacombs are man-made underground passages, all right, primarily used for religious purposes, particularly for burial. And that's where they said your father doesn't get an honorable burial. They bury his father under the ground. Why? Because that's where the people who, just like, and again, and what makes it so ill is because they show you the different fractions of the different mind frames of the people that were a part of the Roman Empire. You had the general who believed in the same principles as the slave. That show you right there that Cornelius is an Israelite as well. All right, because just like in what they depicted, just like back then, you had Jake that were in, like, remember you had that centurion of the Augustus band. All right, you had different centurions from amongst the Roman Empire that were actually Negroes. Right, so you would call them Negroes today. All right, and they were fighting with the Roman Empire, but then later on, just like now, how Jake is getting frustrated with the government and things of that nature. That's why Jake could relate to that. You can feel that emotion when you in the theater. Jake relates to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an uprising. It's coming against the oppressor, and that's the same thing that happened back then, right? But the only way that our people gonna win on this go round, because the Roman Empire got to go down, and that's gonna be through who? Yahweh Shai, with the heavenly host. All right, and he showed you in the movie, right, when the general overtook that particular army in the beginning, that battle when they at the shore front, they rammed the boats in there, and remember that when they overthrew the opposing country, what did they do? They branded them. All right, they marked them. Okay, so look, man, the proof is in the pudding. I highly recommend the brother go see that movie. I'm not gonna tell you every nook and cranny, but when it comes to and then the action, like that shit, and then it's that joint fire, bro. It's fire. What's your opinion, bro?
Yeah, something that I take from it, that you could feel that that cutthroat energy within the council, um, when Denzel was talking to those two Edomites. And then, throughout the whole movie, man, yeah, look. And at the end, well, I can't spoil it, but yeah, and what? We know that these spirits are coming back again, and these spirits are going to be judged.
Yeah. That whole vibration of what Esau was pushing, those pagan deities and things of that nature. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep into it. Just want to spit something out real quick, but later, Lord's will, later on, do it like a follow-up with a little more detail, go into more in-depth into some scriptures and things of that nature. And that's another thing I'll leave with in closing, right? You got to understand prophecy, right? Because if you understand prophecy, you understand history. There's no new thing under the sun, right? Same thing that happened back then is going to understand now. That spirit of prophecy is a special spirit, all right? You just don't wake up with that spirit, That spirit has to be installed into a man. Just because you know the scriptures and things of that nature, that, that's why prophecy is important, because if you don't understand prophecy, there's no way that's why Jake can't get it. Because they if you knew what was before you, you know that will be nothing. If you understand what Yahweh Shai got in store for in the kingdom, the many mansions, you would look at that. That's why even Romans 8 and 16, 8 and 17 said what? It said, the things that we go through now is not worthy to be compared with the things that come. So it's like, you look at back then, like, you think Jake couldn't overthrow Edomites back then and really control the Roman Empire? That's light compared to what's about to happen. The scriptures tell you that the saints shall take the kingdom. So that's why we could look at that easily and be like, man, that's easily, especially when you have the understanding that's what it all boils down to, the understanding the scriptures say, talking about knowing all things.
Yep.
You was gonna say something? No, okay, I'll close on that. Shalom, man. Shalom.